Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special episode of Splurge or Steal for you. We're not going to be trying anything on. I'm just going to talk to you about some things that I think are worth splurging on, and then I'll tell you about some things that I think we can get at a steal. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you about are two foundations. Now, you can get some very good foundations from the drugstore, but these two in particular I think are worth the splurge because they're just very special, and as far as I have seen, undupable. The first one is Armani Luminous Silk. Now, this one is the mini size because it's rather expensive and I was super skeptical. So I bought the mini to see if I would like it, and I love it. And when I run out of this, I will buy the full size. I'm looking at my notes for the prices. The mini size that I have is $45 and the full size is $69. So that is not inexpensive by any stretch of the imagination, but it just gives you a beautiful smooth complexion. It's long wearing, even though it doesn't claim to be. And it's just such a special foundation. I can't even describe how pretty it is. I get so many compliments whenever I wear that foundation. I don't wear it to work. It's just too expensive for that. And while it is semi-long wearing, it doesn't make it through a whole 12-hour hospital shift. So I typically save it for like date nights and special occasions. The other foundation that I have is the one that I'm wearing, and you probably sick to death of seeing it because it's been viral, and then it went viral again this year, is the Haus Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This one is $45 for the full size, so this size right here is the one that's $45. And this is also the one that I'm wearing right now. And you can see it's definitely skin-like. I can still see my skin underneath. However, it's got a little bit of luminosity to it. It's just such a pretty foundation. And this is absolutely my #1 favorite. I wear it almost every day that I'm not filming and trying out something new. And then I wear it on days that I am filming that I'm not trying out a new foundation. So this is definitely my go-to holy grail foundation. And I think it's also definitely worth splurging on. Along with that is the concealer. The Haus Labs concealer that launched this year. It's the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer, and it is $32. So it is not inexpensive either. But I'm wearing it right now. It's just such a beautiful skin-like concealer. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't settle. Eventually, everything is going to crease if you have lines, which every human does. But I've had this on now for about 2 hours. And as you can see, I haven't set it with powder at all. And it's just such a pretty concealer. And there are good concealers from the drugstore, don't get me wrong. But I think this one is just undupable in my opinion. The next thing I have for you that you're also probably sick of seeing is probably my absolute favorite investment that I made this year. And it's the Haus Labs palette. Now, these are limited edition. The one that I have is the light version, which I think came with a different case if you bought it in store. I ordered it online and I was able to pick my own packaging. The packaging is very luxe. It feels very expensive. And the palette is so versatile. I was traveling. I went to Chicago for about 4 days. And this is the only palette I took with me. I did not take an eyeshadow palette. I just took this. And I was able to get an eye look, blush, bronzer, everything out of this one palette. That being said, when I run out, probably the first thing that I will run out of is the bronzer because I use it almost every day. And I will definitely replace that bronzer with a new one. The price of this palette is $90, but it is limited edition. So if that's out of your price range, I have a 3-pan version. They also have singles and they have minis. So it's that's another unduplicable formula that I think nobody else has been able to replicate, the Hourglass formula. And I just think that it is super, super versatile, and it is definitely worth the splurge. Next, I have for you 2 eyeshadow palettes. Now, not everybody, I've seen several people say that the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette is their #1 favorite of the year, and that is a fabulous palette. But in my opinion, these 2 are my go-to palettes. The first one is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3. This is the all matte palette. And I use this palette all the time. Sometimes I go into it for just a specific color, and sometimes I go into it for an entire look. You've got your warms and your cools, and you can get so many different looks from here. I think it's a really special palette, and I think that this formula is, the mattes are just buttery, creamy, smooth, and they blend so well on top of one another. I think this is probably the perfect matte palette, and we saw several this year. I think this is the best one, and this is, if I only had to have 2 palettes, if I had to lose all my other palettes today, it would be these 2. Oh, I forgot to tell you how much it is. That one is $70, but it's not a small palette. I mean, you get 2 creams, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, pretty good size, I would say, powders. I don't use the creams as much, but I have used them for liners and stuff. I just prefer like a shadow liner like I have on right now. The next palette that I'm going to show you, it might surprise you. This is it's $69, and this is a pretty grunge palette. Now, we've seen some smoky palettes come out this year. For example, the Natasha Denona's, what was it, Zine? I can't remember, the gray toned one. But this one is different, in my opinion, because it has so many other tones. It's not just grays. And I'm actually wearing it right now, and I have this peachy warm look. So I used, some of these colors on this side. Oops, there we go. You've got some sort of creamy shimmers in here. You can definitely do a dramatic look. So if you only like to wear soft nude colors, this might not be the palette for you. But if you like to play a little bit and do some more dramatic colors, or go do some day to night looks, this palette is your girly, and I have been really enjoying it. I definitely think it's worth a splurge for these 2 palettes. Now the next thing I have for you is not a thing, but it's a general product, or lots of products, and that is good makeup brushes. That might be a little controversial because you can get good, decent brushes from the drugstore, but I think there is just no replacement for the quality of a good makeup brush. Now I have a few here in front of me, my 2 favorite brands. Sigma, I have several Sigma brushes here. And then I also have, I got an eyelash in my eye. Sorry, I had an eyelash in my eye. I also have this is a complete set. It's the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose set. That set was, let me look. It's on sale right now for $62. BK Beauty also has the Angie Hot and Flashy set, which is very popular. And that one is on sale right now for $112. So $162 and $112 for the Angie set. I don't have that one. Sigma has influencer sets. They do a lot of collaborations with influencers. So you can get one of those sets from like $50 to $100, or maybe a little more. And you'll have curated collections from lots of different influencers. They also have their own brush sets, and you can buy the brushes individually. I just really love them. Another 2 brushes that I love are these 2, the Haus Labs brushes, the foundation and the concealer. These are really special brushes, and since I got them, I've been using exclusively these for foundation and concealer, so I really love these as well. Saying that all that, if that's sort of out of your price range and you want to go start with something a little less expensive, my recommendation is e.l.f. e.l.f. has really good brushes too. Here's a few of them that I have in my collection. This is the buffing foundation brush. This is the double-ended nose contour brush. And these fluffy eyeshadow brushes, I actually have 3 identical brushes because I use them a lot. So, yeah, makeup brushes are an investment. They're not cheap, but they really do up the quality of your makeup game, and they last really well when you get a good brush. Some of them even have lifetime warranties, so I would really consider maybe not buying all the brushes at once, because that would be a little extreme. I definitely didn't buy all these brushes at once, and I have other brushes over here in my collection. Those are just some that I pulled, but I think that buying a brush set when it goes on sale, or when you see an influencer collection that you like, or maybe asking your special someone for a nice brush set for Christmas wouldn't be a bad idea. I just really think that that will up your makeup game. Okay, well, that was a pretty fast video today. I just really wanted to kind of share with you some of the things that I think are worth the splurge. I sort of cheated because I'm going to tell you the things that I think you can get a steal from the drugstore from more inexpensive brands in the next video. So be sure to subscribe so you get to see that one. Bye.